All right, so that's a ridiculous and silly question. I want to commend you for being the media and telling a Democrat policy. So let me ask you something. Joe Biden inherited the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. And the first day in office, he made political decisions to cause this problem. And you should be ashamed of yourself because you're a reporter and you're not reporting facts. You're telling lies.
What happens when a reporter steps up to the mic thinking he's going to run cover for the Biden administration and instead gets steamrolled by the cold, hard truth? Well, today, Senator Ted Cruz delivered a reality check so brutal, so undeniable, that the entire press line went silent. And if the media isn't going to report what's happening at our border, then we will, right here, right now. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Hit like, hit subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. Because in this channel, we don't bend to narratives, we expose them.
We saw back there a couple of hundred people that were sitting there being processed. But they've right now, the Biden administration has sped up their processing so that they can process an illegal immigrant in about 2 minutes. They are sending 40 or more buses a day, full buses, full of illegal immigrants, to detention facilities. So as fast as they scan them in, they pull out a phone, they scan their documents, they take whatever they say, name, age, what country you're from, and boom, they put them on a bus and send them to facilities. To give you a sense, the facilities here can hold roughly 4,600 people. Yesterday they had 7,000. So you know what they did? They had to release hundreds of people, just release them into the communities. And you know, a minute ago you asked about what other states are doing for South Texas. I appreciate that. Because, look, South Texas is bearing the brunt of this. What the Biden administration is doing to South Texas is wrong. The hospitals here are full. The prisons here are full. The schools here are full. The farmers and ranchers see the dead bodies every day from this travesty. And all Joe Biden wants to do is have more people come illegally.
What are you
doing? You have voted down multiple times different policies. So what specifically the Republican members that are here today, what have you all done to help Joe Biden in this?
Okay. All right. So that's a ridiculous and silly question. I want to commend you for being the media and telling a Democrat policy. So let me ask you something.
Come on, man. That's been going on for 20 years.
Okay. Hey, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. What rate of illegal immigration did we have in 2020? Do you know anything? I asked you a question. Do you know anything?
How long have you been in office?
I've been in office 11 years now.
And this has been kicked the count during multiple administrations.
Except you're okay. You don't get to argue with me. You asked your question. You asked your question. You don't get. You want to hold a press conference? You can do it over there.
You have multiple.
You want to hold a press conference? You can do it over there.
How are you?
So hold on. I'm going to answer his question. The talking point of the Democrats, which this media reporter happily parrots, is, gosh, the problem can't be fixed. There's one little problem with that. It is an utter and complete lie. In 2020, the last year of the Trump presidency, we had the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. You ask, what have I done? I've championed the men and women of Border Patrol. I've championed securing the border. I've championed Remain in Mexico. And we turned this problem around and solved it. And we went from Joe Biden inherited the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. And the first day in office, he made political decisions to cause this problem. And you should be ashamed of yourself because you're a reporter and you're not reporting facts. You're telling lies. Joe Biden made a political decision and they turn a blind eye. If you want to know just how much they turn a blind eye, 6 weeks ago in the Judiciary Committee, I questioned Alejandro Mayorkas. I put up a poster board of colored wristbands. And I asked him, Mr. Secretary, what are these colored wristbands? And he said, I don't know. I have no idea. That was the one bit of his testimony that truly shocked me because just about every illegal immigrant who crosses the border is wearing a colored wristband. They correspond to how many thousands of dollars the immigrants owe the cartels. And the fact that Mayorkas doesn't even know what they are, if you stand on the banks of the Rio Grande River, as I have done many times, you see hundreds or thousands of these wristbands laying in the ground. Sir, I don't know if you stood there, but I know Mayorkas hasn't because he didn't know what the wristbands were. And that means he hasn't talked to the Border Patrol agents either. It is immoral. And when those kids cross, the teenage boys who owe thousands of dollars to the cartels, the Biden administration flies them to every city in America. They fly them to Kansas. And there those teenage boys are forced to work for the Mexican drug cartels committing crimes to pay off the money they owe. And if they don't pay it off, they'll murder their families. And I'll tell you, as bad as the boys have it, the girls have it worse. There are thousands upon thousands of teenage girls trapped in sex slavery. And yet, for those of you in the media who don't report on that, you should be ashamed. This is evil. And the reason you don't see any Democrats here is they can't defend this. They're counting on the press not to cover it. It's wrong.
You want to talk about what happened in this clip? Let's get right into it. A reporter, supposedly an objective journalist, steps forward and asks the most backwards question imaginable. What have Republicans done to help Joe Biden? Let me stop you right there. That's like asking a firefighter why he isn't helping the arsonist spread gasoline. It's absurd. It's dishonest. And Senator Cruz called it exactly what it was: ridiculous and silly. And he was right. Cruz reminded everyone of a fact the media pretends doesn't exist. In 2020, illegal immigration hit its lowest level in 45 years. Republican policies worked. Remain in Mexico worked. Border enforcement worked. Then Joe Biden walked into office, ripped all of it apart on day one, and acted shocked when the border exploded. Cruz didn't just defend himself, he unloaded the receipts. He broke down the 2-minute processing system being run at the border like a conveyor belt. He talked about the 40 buses a day shipping migrants around the country before Border Patrol even catches their breath. He exposed detention centers at nearly twice capacity, overflowing so badly that officials just release hundreds of people into South Texas communities with zero plan. He painted the picture the media refuses to show. Hospitals full, prisons full, schools overrun, ranchers stumbling on dead bodies. And while Texans are living with the consequences, Biden pretends nothing is happening, and the press nods along like trained seals. But then Cruz dropped the detail that should have been national news for years. The cartel wristbands. Colored bands worn by migrants, marking how much money they owe. Literal human trafficking accounting tags. Cruz asked Secretary Mayorkas about them. The man who runs Homeland Security, the man who claims the border is secure, said he didn't even know what they were.
Think about that. Cartels know.
Border Patrol knows. Senators know. People living in border communities definitely know. But the man in charge of border security somehow doesn't? That's not incompetence at this point. That is negligence. And it's costing lives. Cruz wasn't exaggerating. He talked about teenage boys forced into cartel criminal work once they're flown into American cities. And the girls, God help them, trafficked into sex slavery while this administration turns a blind eye. And the media?
Silent.
Complicit. Ashamed? They should be. Cruz called them out to their faces, and you could feel the shock ripple through that crowd. This wasn't political theater. This was an indictment on Biden, on Mayorkas, on the media, and on anyone pretending this isn't a national, moral, and humanitarian disaster. So the real question is, was Ted Cruz too harsh? Or did he finally say what millions of Americans have been screaming for years? You already know my answer. Drop yours in the comments.